You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. Nassau officials are announcing the arrest of more than 40 people in a 4-day gang sweep. Nassau police say the suspects taken into custody last week face charges ranging from drug and weapons possession to robberies and DWI. More than 24 of the suspects, many of them MS-13 gang members, were put into ICE custody. We'll hear more about this story from Virginia Huey in just a moment. And only in Newsday, records show a flight from MacArthur made an emergency landing at JFK Airport last week. Airport firefighters say the engine was, quote, completely destroyed. The JetBlue flight left from MacArthur to Orlando and reported engine failure shortly after takeoff. The plane circled over Long Island and landed safely at the airport. 167 people were on board. And only in Newsday, the chief of the Bellmore Fire Department has retired from the FDNY. Chief Steve Marsar has retired after 35 years on the job.
It's bittersweet because I love coming to work. I still like to do it, but on the other side of it, it's a good time to move on, and while I'm young enough and healthy enough to enjoy a retirement.
The 63-year-old trained to become a peer support counselor to help other firefighters cope with traumatic calls and was an advocate for mental health for first responders. And several Long Island high schools have been named among the best in the nation. U.S. News and World Report ranked Jericho High School as the best on Long Island, 9th best in the state, and 108th best in the country. Jericho superintendent tells Newsday that 10% of its 2025 graduating class is going to an Ivy League school this fall. Now, other high schools on the list include Garden City, Herrick's, and Syosset. And Long Islanders are being warned to stay out of the water along the South Shore as Hurricane Erin moves north. Now, this is what it looks like earlier today at Hither Hill State Park in Montauk. The water rose so high it covered most of the beach. Experts predict waves as high as 10 to 15 feet and dangerous rip currents in coming days. Now, dune erosion and beach flooding are also potential threats. With that said, let's take a quick look at tomorrow's weather, shall we? It was a gorgeous day today, but the rain looks like it's moving in tomorrow, starting in the afternoon. And of course, we'll have that 7-day forecast for you later in the broadcast. Dozens of alleged gang members have been arrested in Nassau. Virginia Huey tells us more.
We want to send a clear message that gang activity in Nassau County will not be tolerated.
More than 40 alleged gang members and their machetes and guns are off the streets of Long Island following a sweeping roundup by Nassau police. County Executive Bruce Blakeman says the suspects face a variety of charges.
They've engaged in illegal activity, including attempted murder, rape, all kinds of felonies, including human trafficking of women and young girls.
The crackdown began after officials noticed an uptick in gang-on-gang violence involving MS-13 and 18th Street gangs. The county's top brass moved to nip it in the bud.
This is like playing whack-a-mole. You poke your head up, we're going to knock it back down.
Nassau police launched the crackdown on August 13th. Over the course of 4 days, 42 arrests were made, including this one in Hempstead of a suspected Trinitario gang member for alleged possession of cocaine.
Police say out of the 42 suspects arrested, 28 were transferred to ICE custody.
25 were gang members. We promised in the beginning that we were going to go after the worst of the worst. You're looking at it on the screen.
County Executive Blakeman said people arrested for serious crimes will be prosecuted and jailed locally rather than handed over to ICE. But for smaller offenses, officials contact ICE directly.
They're not going to go into a cashless bail system and walk out the door and I can't touch them for 24 hours. Now we turn them over directly to ICE and they get deported.
For Newsday TV, I'm Virginia Huey.
Only in Newsday, a tenured Manhasset High School theater teacher faces a penalty after what's been called inappropriate contact with a student. Newsday investigative reporter Jim Bombach explains.
It's kind of an unusual case. I mean, obviously you hear inappropriate physical contact between a teacher and student, and automatically you think, oh my gosh, of course not. But with the theater teacher, it took place during a rehearsal of a play of Hamlet, where it was essentially kind of a romantic scene between a female and male. And the director, the theater teacher, felt that the student was not essentially being aggressive enough with his kissing of the student's arm, and went and simulated the kiss, and in fact is alleged to have kissed the student's arm up until her neck, made her feel uncomfortable. This was in the fall of 2021. A hearing officer decided that Manhasset's right, it was misconduct, but it did not warrant termination. Manhasset completely didn't disagree with that, took a very unusual decision to file a lawsuit to overturn that decision, and the Nassau judge agreed and said, you know what, he deserves more than the $12,500 fine and sensitivity training, and sent it back to the hearing officer to decide a new, harsher penalty.
Hey, you. Little Ryan was born to mom Elizabeth Sweeney on April 22nd at Mount Sinai, South Nassau. Now a happy and healthy boy, his delivery was a difficult one.
It was 2 days of really not progressing past 4 centimeters. My mom came in and was like, you know, you meet the criteria for a C-section now. I didn't want a section, but I knew that day, like, this baby has to come out of me because I can't take this anymore.
It's a decision many moms face, and some say there's often pressure to perform a cesarean section, something Elizabeth's mom witnessed at previous hospitals.
I'm doing this almost 30 years. Yeah, there are people who, you know, like, I have to get home. I have stuff to do, I have a life, and it does impact on the C-section rates. I'd be lying if I told you otherwise. It does.
Newsday looked at C-section rates on Long Island, and according to Leapfrog, a group that tracks hospital data, there is a major gap between our hospitals. Nearly half of all the deliveries at Catholic Health St. Charles last year were C-sections. They had the highest rate at 48.5%, compared to the lowest, Long Island Jewish at 20.7%, followed closely by Mount Sinai South Nassau at 21.5%. These rates reflect first-time moms carrying one baby beyond 37 weeks that was positioned head down.
There are times when the fetal heart rate tracing suggests that there may be a problem, or you're taking a bigger risk waiting.
But Dr. Holcomb says they've made improvements in interpreting those readings.
The two hospitals combined do over 13,000 deliveries a year, and they say those C-section rates continue to go down because they look back at those births to see if anything could have been done differently.
There's the Hawthorne effect. Anytime you're counting something and someone knows that you're observing their behavior, it changes behavior.
Elizabeth's doctor agreed that as long as little Ryan wasn't in any distress, they would wait.
So when he gave me that little bit of hope, I was like, let's take this and run with it.
And eventually, she had the vaginal delivery she had hoped for. Long Island's overall C-section rate of about 31% is above the national average of 25%. The chairman of Women's Health Services at Catholic Health says they will be working to better educate their physicians about the latest guidelines on when to use cesareans. Reporting for Newsday TV, I'm Macy Egland.
Grab your sunblock, we're going lifeguarding.
At Jones Beach, being a lifeguard is not just a summer gig. It's a lifestyle, a calling that Tammy Metzger answered 34 years ago.
Hi, my name is Tammy Metzger. I'm captain here at Jones Beach State Park. I absolutely love my job of over 34 years because I love saving lives.
She's the captain of RM2, a unit of lifeguards trained to do a lot more than just twirl a whistle.
We are first responders in all due rights. We're working on that now to make that actually official. But just like a fireman, a police officer, etc., EMT, you know, lifeguards fall into that category, and you want to have within you the desire to be competitive enough to pass, number one, but also to save lives.
Lifeguards train like pros because they say the ocean does not give second chances.
The new hire is a 100-yard freestyle in a pool. There's a swim component in the ocean as well, which is approximately 500 yards in the ocean. Day of test, it can be any conditions. It can be flat as a lake like today, or we can have waves. And the cross-chest carry, same. It's a competitive test. Always around the weekend of around Father's Day weekend in June is when we hold it. The state holds it. And you can be an age as young as 16.
Now it's time to see all that training in action with a mock rescue. Although the job is intense, applicants are as diverse as they are brave.
We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have teachers, we have police officers, firefighters, stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads. We have every type of background that you can think of that encompasses our core.
So if you want to work in the sand rather than just play in it, Metzger says there's no better job.
I think it's one of the most incredible jobs that you can possibly have, to be able to get paid to do not only what you love, but to save people.
Ken Bufa, Newsday TV.
All right, let's take a closer look at your 7-day forecast. You can see right here we have to deal with the rain Wednesday and Thursday, but the weekend looks clear with temps in the 80s. Looks like there'll be more rain coming next week.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy, helping Long Island homes and businesses save with solar for over 20 years.
You're watching Newsday TV. For more on all the stories you've seen here today, head over to Newsday.com. I'm Ken Bufa. Thank you so much for joining us.